Hello folks and welcome back to what is going to be our third and final map of this series between Mythic and TeamOne. It's been definitely a bit of a spectacle. I mean, a lot more than people expected, if I'm honest. I think, all agreed that this would be a 2-0 favor of Mythic here, but TeamOne have come out to play, especially in the conclusion of map number 2. They kept it class. They really came out in that last bit of OT there as well, just squeezing out every critical round. I mean, Mythic kept them on their toes, but well, clearly it wasn't enough. That's why we're here in the first place, right? That's why we've reached the third map in this series. Question is, who takes it? Is it going to be TeamOne now running this one the full distance, collecting the W here in this best of 3? Or will Mythic snap back, realize that they messed up by letting Overpass slip through the net, and just try and shut them down nice and early here and run away with this one in a typical Mythic 16-6 fashion? That is the questions we're looking to ask. We can certainly seek a bit of insight from the odds, but that's about it. Now, talking of the odds, they're right here for you. I like to think they're live, but we tried. With that said, let's focus on the pistol. So far, so good. Initial kill comes in. That's a beautiful flash from realizing, though, he's at a little too deep. Will back off, but oh, not quite enough. I had a second thought for just a second there. If he repeated for even a moment longer, he was a dead man walking, but instead he gets a kill for his troubles as he could... Anger? Hello? Free firing through a smoke should not yield a kill, but in the case of Anger, once more, it does. Nacom looking for much of the same, but not quite going to woe his way. Going to see Jules towards the back of sight, along with this Jewel and Banana between Mythic and Haste. TeamOne just trying to hold on to this, really. Locks did a pretty good job of getting the damage down, and IDK actually just able to finish things off. Double peaking on both Anger and Flom respectively, as he does force this one over the line for his team. So nicely done. I mean, it was a little hectic at moments. We saw some great little opening kills there from the likes of Anger, but unfortunately Mythic weren't able to do much more than those two funky kills. And there, of course, it is that T-side pistol for TeamOne. They could open up now for that second round as well. Already seen that early AK in play. But most importantly, it's the triple UMP setup with the MAC-10 as well. The money-making potential here for TeamOne is critical. One of the biggest things they struggled with in this best of 3 was their economy management. If they can get that in control early on, that's going to be a huge boom for them throughout the rest of this map. A lot of damage towards Poland. Has to be careful here not to be found through the smoke. He actually steps into the flames there, gives up the kill to Nacom very easily by just taking a moment backwards. Unfortunately so, but it is what it is. Mythic will have to suck it up. They haven't got a huge amount to work with, so every loss is pivotal. Try and hold desperately on to this second round. UMP's just hungry for the openers, but not really going their way just yet. Good stuff from Flom, but curious to see how consistent that's going to be. Maluk obviously down to 18 HP, gives an opening chance here for Mythic. And he's utilising that as he peeks out with the CZ. Oh, Flom coming in from behind. Lovely stuff. Desperately looking for TRK, but he might be on the brink of death, but he's still standing ultimately. Probably to be a bit more of a funny one than anything else. Although it is a 2v2 at its core. Flom opting for the P250. I like that. Just a little bit more left in the chamber, I think. Gonna be the last player standing as his teammate Adren couldn't find the shot with a scout. See if Flom has what it takes. The answer is no. TeamOne, they get themselves their second. They can progress for a third as well. Should be very easily achieved as Mythic won't even have upgraded pistols here for the most part. I imagine they'll keep those $2,000 on every single player to focus on round number 4. We're seeing a little bit of aggression in towards Banana. I'm actually just going to lead the charge there. Makes sense too. I mean, he's got the SMG, why not? Especially the Mac 10, it's super, super mobile. Unfortunately, he will be taken down by USB, which is not a pretty scenario, but yeah. Doesn't matter a huge amount. The weapon actually not even being picked up by Mythic. For the most part, looking pretty comfortable here for TeamOne. Couple of kills do come in for Mythic, but it's nothing that's really going to change the outcome of the round. We are still looking at a TeamOne victory. A 3-0 start, of course, while Mythic do go into their first bye in this next round. Thing is, you don't really want to save the Mac 10 here. You actually kind of want to get a kill, make some money with it. Saving it's kind of useless because you're going into that bye anyway. Taking a quick look at their money to see sort of where they're at within the AWP department. Where that Mac 10 could be rather fruitful. One kill might have actually just done enough. The option now exists. I mean, do you go for the glass cannon up or not? There you go. The Kevlar basically decides it for him. He'll go for the full utility instead. The benefit he has is, hey, buddy, do you want a helmet? You can have one if you want. Doesn't really make a difference, though, when you're playing 5 AKs, of course. Tabby Cat, I can be your schedule. You let me know what you want to know, and I will answer those questions for you. Whether it's the next game this evening or the 2 games that happen tomorrow. I'm more than happy to inform TeamOne of where they stand. Nice opening kills. The frag grenade as well to finish off a second. Lovely stuff. Maybe even a third. Nakam being nipped at through the smoke as TeamOne. Now push back very early on into this first big buy from Mythic. Tylak, basically Yumi's got you covered. I can't really solve that. It would involve a lot of faff. Potentially I could try and restart the game maybe, but it's like a 50-50 gamble. It's just GoTV being GoTV, unfortunately. A2K, if you want a bracket, you can go to Liquipedia or HLTV. There are other sites available, but those are definitely going to be your best bets. I'm just going to waltz up on towards the ASAC, cracking it open like a raw egg as he finds all 3 kills. Still leaves himself in a 1v2 though. Has to go for the ace play. He wants to make it work. It's an uphill battle though. Has to find both Poland and also deal with the fact that Flom could come at the exact same time from short. If they play it together, this should always be a sure thing, but Nakam channeling. I don't even get a chance to finish what I was going for there as Flom just runs in and shuts him down. They play it smart. They play it together. They get themselves around. It's simple as that. Mythic. Just one to play with, but hopefully they can turn that one into a second and likely even a third. You never know. Let's see how they can do here. Still looking to crack that TeamOne economy, of course. Nice early opening kill. At least puts TeamOne off on the right foot forward. That does seem to take some mid-control here, just pushing up on towards long. The wraparound play on towards A. Could go through Speedway to B, but when you look at the map, you can see quite clearly what they're aiming for here. Anger and Hayes trying desperately to hold on, but all TRK has got to do is get up and above from Graveyard and shut him down from there, and that is exactly what it does. Beautifully responded to. Instead he throws the smoke, blocking off Poland. Yeah, this round should just be in the books for TeamOne. No real ifs and buts about it. Poland should have no way in to this site. I'm just going to tick on down, but like I said, Poland just out of action. Going to be saving this one. Yumi, if you're still here, why are you awake at 3 AM? I mean, I'm the one who's supposed to be insane casting at 3 AM. I'm exhausted to say the least. However, I'm curious to why you're awake at 3 AM. That feels like a questionable choice. I know we have still got some British fans with us, but I'm not sure if they've left us yet. You guys are also champions if you're awake at 3 AM. You're just mad. I need that energy from our Europeans that are still here. Working night shifts. That makes sense. You got that. That makes good sense. Yumi's the exact same reason as well. It's all about the night shifts / late shifts. Damn it, you guys are. I'm sat here like I'm exhausted, and then you guys are like it's 4 AM. I can't say anything. It's just been owned. Our European brothers have basically just crushed us. Much like Mythic will likely be here as well. I mean, they just have nothing. It's just the AK of Poland. One man, one dream. Dude, you guys are like night shift warriors, man. There's a lot of night shift people in here working at like 5 AM, 3 AM. You guys are absolute champions. Keep up the hard work. Respect the grind, that's for sure. One man, one dream, caster. I mean, it has to be said. We love casts like this because obviously style are awesome. They give us the opportunity to take it a little bit more casual, have a little bit more fun with it. So we don't really like to go sort of super, for lack of a better word, try hard into it, take it super seriously. We just sort of like to sit back, relax, enjoy the Counter-Strike, and it's almost as if we're watching it with you guys, more than the traditional sort of commentary perspective. You gotta find a nice hybrid between the two, though. I guess the way you should see it is you should enjoy watching the game with us, instead of just listening to traditional commentary. That's kind of like that community feeling, I guess. That is just a lovely way to open up the site there from the com. Just tapping down the barrels. They check flower pots as well, and the pollen will fall. And the com is just padding the stats at this point. It's basically a quad kill. Might as well let TOK knock away from him. Obviously, we've just got hazed in CT, but I mean, that man has an open death warrant just waiting to be signed, and there you have it. TeamOne progressing forward 5-1. I mean, this is a real great start from them on their T side. If they can keep this going, I'm a little concerned, to say the least. Morfiga, that smoke wasn't on purpose to see the boost, although it does accentuate the boost depending on how deep you throw it. But that smoke in general is just there to cover off that whole sort of alleyway into CT. But it does have the advantage depending on if you can throw it deep into the corridor, you can expose that boost a little bit easier. There's a couple of different lineups basically for the CT smoke is the short answer. Hopefully that answers your question. Obviously for Mythic here, it is still just the pistols. They are committing to saving every last penny. I mean, I'm focusing less on the failed smoke and more on what the smoke can actually be used for, Morfiga. I try to help a brother out, what can I say? Obviously just looking at Mythic. Saving out this round, bringing those CZs into the next one. A little bit of context for what this is and what you're actually watching. I noticed there's a couple people asking sort of, you know, what is the importance of this match? So you are tuned in, of course, to the StarSeries I-League Season 6 North American Qualifier, looking at some of North America's best teams competing for their chance, of course, to make it to Phase 2 of the qualifier. Phase 2 consists of the likes of NRG, Complexity, Ghost, and E United. The current stage, of course, Phase 1, well, right now this is Group A, it's Swole Patrol, TeamOne, Mythic, and Blackout. Later on tomorrow it'll be Group B, which is Dignita's Bravado, Prospects, and Really Old People, which, Really Old People, for those who don't know, is basically Effie's and Cardiac's team. The resident Canadians, should we say. One that actually really excites me though is Bravado. Obviously, watching them play is always awesome. Especially when they get the opportunity such as this to compete in this high level. Can confirm Seaside flakes his cube. It's a natural fact. Molly making life a little difficult there for Nicole. A couple of steps going to be taken further up to Banana, but Mythic have to be careful about how they approach this one. A good flash could crush them. Ballon just snuck behind sandbags, and he'll be taken down just like that. A click of your fingers. Half the world is gone. From there, it just goes from bad to worse as TeamOne continue charging up onto the site, but they don't smoke cross and they don't flash the site. Means Flom has a field day just shutting them down. This is a disaster, TeamOne. What are you doing? Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get carried away. You had everything going for you there, but the round just completely reverted like a dodgy Avengers movie plot as suddenly TeamOne looking out of the count. Hayes desperately trying to hold on, but MCH is at least going to buy some time for now, just not fooling Hayes the Naps just yet. Looking to face in towards Pit. Anger just going to peek out nice and wide. Gives himself up. TRK with one hell of a double kill. Buddy knows how to open up a sight. MCH then goes flying from up and above. A little bit of an Assassin's Creed sort of move down onto Pit, and it leaves Mythic with nothing left at all. This round consisted of some dodgy commentary, some crazy flashes, some significant lack of smokes. And overall, just the death and destruction of Mythic on their CT side of Inferno, because it is going to be 7-1. And there is nothing that Flom is going to do about it, buddy. It is over for you. This round pretty much ended when Anger gave himself up in Pit by just swinging it out super wide, exposing himself all the way to anybody on short or on site. From there, the round just crumbled like a dodgy apple pie. What is my reference game this evening? Dodgy apple crumble should have been what we go for, but I'm just not even going to question it. Mythic, obviously back on the pistols. Not a huge amount to say. Talking about food at 3 AM, you play a dangerous game. Buddy, I got a curry ready and waiting next to me. I can't wait for this best of 3 to end, because a Lambooner is sat down, and I'm looking forward to it. Today is the last cheat date, and then we go back into our 21 days of hell. Mythic just letting the clock run down. Not really taking many duels. Angles just being held as they wait patiently for TeamOne to waltz into their crosshair. Quite literally in the case of MCH. Just playing this one slow and steady. He's actually been taken down through the smoke there, which is an interesting one in itself. I imagine there's more to it, but we didn't quite see it from our angle. Dren just sitting super far back. I mean, this is kind of a fault-like play, not really working out for them. Just much more of the individual duels that Mythic just can't win without rifles, really. Makes sense why they're being picked apart right now by TeamOne, who continue their run here. Just 8-1. It's looking unstoppable on the T side. They just can't knock them. They've controlled Mythic's economy so well, and I think also that comes back to a point I made very early on this game, which is if TeamOne got their economy in check, it felt like they would be in much better stead, because if you look at the previous map, one of the things they struggled most with was their economy management. Outside of that, the fundamentals were definitely there. They just, at times, were going into rounds with like 5 AKs and no utility. Whereas if they had a couple of flashes or even a smoke, they probably would have won those rounds. I felt like we're starting to see that take some form on Inferno here. Really doesn't have much to it just yet. Mythic getting that first kill, but waiting just ever so patiently to see if it will go downhill. Throw it away with one simple mistake. Feels very almost rude to say, just predicting the worst of Mythic, but we sort of have seen that on Inferno so far, so just being very, very careful how we approach this. Witnessing the 40-second marker now roll on by TeamOne. Looking to move up through Banana, step by step. 30 seconds remain. They've got the smokes and flashes needed to execute in full. Need to be able to respond to those mollies, though. That's where things are a little bit complex, and they're already running away from it. In fact, using their teammates to get out through ramp. So this could be wonderful. It's going to be all on our buddy on site to hold this one down. I'm not sure if he can do it. Anger is up on the box. He's got 10 seconds. If he finds the bomb planter, it's going to be good. Ace and point. It's actually kind of annoying that we were trying to swap him for ages, but CS was having none of it. Anger definitely saving the day there, though. All they had to do was find that first player. It was such a nice combination. The fact that the bomb planter was also the one with full HP. But that second kill on TRK was just like so much simpler because he had like what, 23 HP, so. Not really going to debate the small stuff like the high HP hate player entering first, stuff like that. It's these are the tiny little things that you can think about when approaching those individual rounds, but at a high level, the outcome likely still is going to be the same there. Anger held a good position, played the height to a T, and it worked out wonderfully. Obviously for Mythic though, when you do look at how these rounds are played out, they now have to win this. Like, without a doubt. Like, Mythic have to make this round work. If they don't, well, we better be concerned. No CT smoke. Holland just going to take the free peek into them. Gets 2 for his troubles before finally being traded out by an EK and Maluk. See the bomb go down. Minute on the clock. MTH is still in mid. I'm not even going to think about why he's there. I'm just going to think about how successful that position is. Just cutting down Anger on the rotate. Forcing this 2v3. Maluk then finds Haze as the smoke begins to fade. Adren will fade, but the heartbreaking 1v2 he's got to make work. It just goes diving through the molly, but now his position is known. Molly then goes onto the bomb as well to buy even more time. TeamOne. Adren just hungry for information, but finding absolutely nothing outside of his own grave. Really not looking too pretty right now for Mythic. Concerned might be a bit of an understatement here. 9-2 T-side Inferno. Doing so much right now. Really just can't complain. putting in a fair bit of damage on these pistols as well. Mythic just using CZs and P250s on their own, of course. Move around, there comes spots one, and I mean, they just find every single player. Not even one frag. Strung together from Mythic there, they just all fall like flies. And then there were two. Anger and Hazed. A couple of cheeky dinks with the USP, but still, nothing to come from them. One goes down with 30 seconds left. It's the mandatory point in the round from TeamOne there, just to ensure they do actually secure this one. Of course, just playing the clock at this point, just staying alive, being a bit of a nuisance. And maybe if they can get a kill on the way out, but even that's not going to happen. It will just be that 10-2 scoreline. Absolute madness. Question remains, will TeamOne keep this going? I mean, they've got another buy round now to contend with. There's still no AWP in sight there for Adran. Let alone anyone else on that Mythic lineup. We have seen the orb float between players every now and then. TeamOne very confident in their approach towards B though. I mean, they've lost a fair few players using this idea of just walking up, taking the jewels towards site with nothing on CT, so definitely they need to be cautious about how they go about this, and almost overconfidence towards the B site. Mythic thankfully kind of helping them out by pushing them back there actually, so just they don't overextend, they have second thoughts. Start to sort of at least regroup with the team somewhat. Will come through. Poland finding that first entry, but as we can see, this is a bit of a bait and switch play, trying to get a bit of aggression out on towards A. Meanwhile, doesn't really work out though. Adren is just ready and waiting. Then IDK slips out on towards B, and rinse and repeat. It just goes back and forwards. It's a bit of a weird one, really. The B site could well be taken though if IDK secures that headshot, and so he does. Downside is the bomb's under control. You've got to retake key steps, which is. It's a weird one, but I mean, it happens. I'm just going to go down on the feet of Adren, but... Hello, IDK, you're running into him. You have no idea, though, do you? Absolutely no idea, but then MCH slips in from mid. What is this game? Honestly, what is this match? 11-2. Mythic just exhausted from that OT slog. Actually, some frustration there. I'm not sure what that is. There could be so many things that are affecting them on Inferno. Maybe they're just not that strong on Inferno after all, but can't help but feel like that OT matchup has definitely played an effect on them here. But at the same time, TeamOne have just come all guns blazing into this map. 11-2 so far. Should really be 12-2 as well. It just doesn't get better than this. You really couldn't do anything better if you're TeamOne right now. So far, so good as well. Just TeamOne at it again with that typical cleanliness they've had in these rounds. Not losing a single player so far as they take down 3. Open up to the 4th, and well, the 5th is looking like it's due any second now. TRK spotting Anger, takes the repeat, tags him down through the wall, and finally puts him in the grave. Just another body added to the very, very large pile now. That represents Mythic's failure this first half. 12-2, of course, the scoreline. The aim to make it 13-2. Couldn't get any better than that for TeamOne. They've just played some impeccable Counter-Strike on their T side. It'll be a long road ahead for Mythic. We want to bring this one back. Nice opening shot from Maluk, keeping it together. Flom will at least trade back by just utilizing the flames. Poland, oh, if he's not checked for, this could be huge. Lovely way to trade things back, and he falls away as well, keeping the advantage for Mythic. I like this. 4 versus 3, a little bit more control from them now. Not opting for the 2-2 setup though. By that I mean literally 2 players on B, 2 players on A. They just keep that third man of Adrent over on towards A long. Does mean that there is a point of weakness. There's this B site. If Poland loses his life, just gets blasted by a combo or something. Need I say anything more? Instantly taken down. From there, the B site's wide open. Bomb plant can come in. TeamOne basically just set up for the retake straight away. They have so much time as well to get into after plants, and they also already have TRK and Banana. That's just a prime example, by the way, of Caster's Curse. I mean, that was predicted perfectly. Nothing he could do there. His head was just ripped clean off. AK bullets. Goddamn strong. Just going for the all-in retake. Really working out too well. See a little bit of action from Adren and Haste. Adren just going to get straight on the defuse, but he's only got 10 seconds. No kit, no hope. 13-2. Definitely some questions to be asked about this game, but overall I think that, exhaustion could well be playing a part in this. Obviously that OT game was a long matchup. For those asking if there are more matches after this, we do actually have just another best of 3. It is going to be Blackout versus Swole Patrol. If you're not familiar with Blackout, that is a lineup of mainline Seb, Wrath, which I believe is one of the premier lineups from NA, if memory serves me correct. Obviously now focusing intently on this pistol. There is just so much on the line for Mythic. You got to make it work. They're going to wrap around for a long, and the aggression from TeamOne might actually mean that this is an all-out retake. They've already got players and apps though, so I don't think they're complaining. It's just a bit of a weird one. A 5v5 full retake with players and apps. Funky stuff. Adrian actually finds a kill there as well. Insult to injury, gets a second frag, just blasting the head of MCH out the server. And there were 3. Still looking to see if they can retake, but it's worth them pointing out they have no kit, so gotta go fast here, and it's just not looking like it's getting any better at all. Flom is shutting them down single-handedly, securing all 3 of the final kills there as Mythic were kept alive by a pistol round result. Obviously still 10 rounds, it's a huge gap between these two teams, but starting strong at least, right? If you're gonna make a comeback happen, getting that first round is definitely a step in the right direction. Mythic just looking to hold on to this. I'm almost apprehensive just thinking about it. Poland rattling off shots though with the MAC-10 starting once again. Round rather strong. So this T-side of Mythic keeps me positive for now. Finding TRK also puts them in a significant lead here. You really should be able to go wrong from here on out. You basically have full control, right? 5 versus 3, get a couple more kills, leaves just MCH now alone on 1v4. Mythic, you got yourself your 4th. It's a start. Keep it going. Waiting for that first big buy from TeamOne. That's going to be the real telltale sign of just how well Mythic are stepping up against TeamOne on their T side. Unfortunately, not even able to get a single kill there. Just going to be taken down by the jumping shot from Poland. Obviously, I sort of hinted at it, but for TeamOne, you have to remember it's 3 rounds they need. If they're able to crack Mythic at any point, that basically puts them on series point, right? So you have to be super, super concerned about Mythic. They need this ultra consistency. And that's a huge thing to ask for from a team like Mythic. And I don't mean that in a detrimental or disrespectful way. But if you look at how this series has played out, consistency has not exactly been their strong point. They've been able to get, maybe 5 or 6 rounds, but they've always fallen short in a sort of burst sort of way. And if they lose even 2 or 3 rounds to TeamOne, that's enough to drop the series. That economic control basically going to be the game ender here. Zeus kind of failed, unfortunately. Just heard the little zap, but didn't quite connect. We've seen Poland do a pretty good job of opening up this site and making a lot of money while they've done it too. Well, only 1 kill snuck in by the con, but it's nothing too fanciful. Drone should be able to just finish him off. Mythic welcoming their 5th onto the board. This is the big one, though. The 5 rifles now in play for TeamOne. Utility as well, certainly present. By no means chock-a-block, but they've got enough to make use of it. Let's see what the early setup here from TeamOne is. It's going to be just pretty standard. 3 players towards A, 2 towards B. Not really doing any aggressive stuff towards banana or anything. It's just a normal default. Swapping sides, maybe they look towards Mythic, and you actually see a little bit more than the usual. They've gone very fast up banana, just wanting to take these duels. Poland clearly trying to transition that SMG power into something with this rifle. Obviously, he's just been so confident walking out on B and getting all the picks with the SMGs. Needs to get a bit of a reality check here, though, that he's still on an AK versus other rifles now, and that's going to be a key point. If he gets too aggressive, he might well give up a kill to TeamOne, so has to be super careful here. Obviously, meanwhile, Mythic will also run towards the A side of things, making their own fair bit of noise over there as well. I like to think the TeamOne have got a pretty good setup here, though. I mean, with TOK on the site itself, you've also got the player of Mythic, I believe, playing on long corner. Could be a fair bit done here, but obviously the position of the bomb is going to be by far the biggest thing. If we do see a long take, it'll only be so that Mythic can wrap on towards Speedway. Coming from behind. Mythic's actually rotating, which I kind of like as well. He realizes what's coming. It means he can just turn to the left and basically just try and do some damage here, which he is going to do. They check for him, though. Unable to achieve even a single kill. Meanwhile, his teammates on the site, they're struggling. IDK squeezing in just a 1, but it kind of looks like it's just not enough. A lot of damage on towards Anger and Poland, but still not enough. It's a 2v4. TeamOne already opting for the save. Mythic, they're going to get themselves their 6th. They are grinding their way back. Gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, it's a long and hard road, but Mythic are taking it in their stride right now. The smart call from TeamOne just to save those 2 rifles. Keep it together. The advantage of saving those rifles effectively means that when the rest of their team have a sort of light curve upgraded pistols here, they have a little bit more firepower behind them as a unit, because they can go for 3 CZs and two M4s, which is, you know, a potential round win there. If you play your cards right, you can do a lot with that. Definitely requires some sort of like sick double kill though, or great little opening frag. Or just all-out aggression, which is kind of what we're seeing here. They're actually just going to go running down Banana, head first, straight through the smokes here. There you go. Oh, so close to one. So close to a second even. Adrian and Poland, both 22 and 25 HP. They're also both still standing. Something that they have in common. IDK does not. Already. Frag taken by Mythic. Likely going to find themselves just another here as well. Maluk sneaks out. Head blown right off. TeamOne, a three-man back right now. That's all they got left. Really seeing a huge amount of potential success here. Tom has to do something, but even he couldn't close out the kill. He's falling short the final hurdle, dishing out, what, 20 HP of damage? He needed 24 to finish off Poland, so just 4 HP short. It's kind of devastating when you look at it from one way, but also just frustrating. You see a shimmer of light, but ultimately it's the same conclusion. Mythic, 7 rounds on the board. They keep it going. Thing as well, now we talked right at the start about TeamOne being able to sort of crack the economy. Shut them down nice and early. You get a free round off the back of that, but Mythic have like 10k in the bank. 6,100 on Haze, 8250 on a Dren, 10,000 plus on Anger, 6,950 on Flom. And Mythic are in a great spot from an economic standpoint. TeamOne, I'd actually start to be a little concerned now. If you can't make this round work when you've got the AWP, all the trimmings, you know, flashes, molotovs, everything, I'd call a pause if this doesn't work effectively, is what I'm saying, because you need to reflect upon what's going wrong. They'll allow Mythic just to gain all this traction and just keep running with the result they're clearly looking for right now. For now, just playing it nice and slow towards the bottom of mid. Oh, what a molly. Easy kill. Oh, a second, just even a third. I mean, it all just falls into place, really. There isn't much you can really do. TRK and MCH both will find themselves at least a frag, but they're over on A, the bomb's over on B. It'll have to be a retake at minimum from TeamOne, and with the position of Poland taken into account, I'm not quite sure I'm a believer. They were maybe going to consider boosting over the smoke, but it doesn't come through. Especially with the deeper smoke now thrown on in. I'm just holding the angle, but MCH finding absolutely nothing here. I mean, just being taken down for a smoke is insult to injury. They continue spraying for MCH as well. That should be a kill. Poland can find. Mythic, 8 rounds now on the board. 5 now the difference. They start at 10. They cut it in half. And they are going to keep it going. The thing is, TeamOne, they're the ones struggling now for money. I mean, they can't afford to buy here. Not by a long shot. Surely you can't drop a 13-2 half. Look at that scoreboard for a second. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, not at all. TeamOne still have a couple more rounds to work with here. Before things do even get decidingly close, but I think I've already done half the work to equalise, and that's just a milestone that you never expected them to hit, really. Very much going to be a slow and steady approach here. The CT smokes come through. Response from TeamOne also present. IDK then getting close to the smoke. Just wants to see, okay, can I turn for this flash? Maybe get a bit aggressive here. Always the potential for things to get a little bit frantic. I mean, they're just sneaking around, providing They approach the smokes the right way, but Mythic, they don't even execute off of their own smokes. They just sit back, relax, and wait it out. 40 seconds on the clock. They are more than happy just to go in with flashbangs alone. Here you go, leading the charge. It's going to be a quick 1-for-1 as TRK will claim the life of a Dren with the nade. IDK then gets aggressive as well, eating the flashbang. Or spotting Poland running towards mid. So the call is definitely out there. They know what is coming. Not sure if they actually will be able to survive. MCH headshotting on Poland. That's an AK picked up on shore. If he can get himself in towards apps, he might actually be able to find a crucial kill here. His anger is a big part of why Mythic have a chance in this round. If no one's in pit suddenly, then Flom basically can't survive in sight. Case in point, becomes a 1v1. MCH now has the upper hand from above, and it all just falls into place for Team One. All stemming from MCH's initial CZ pick that he finds on shore. Then he decides to get in towards apartments and take it from there. That one decision allows them to fight for this round. A lot of personal credit there has to be given to MCH. What's interesting though is that the teammate on site, Flom, actually wasn't aware of where he was, even though he should know because his teammate has just died in pit. So obviously he should be able to call apps, so it should be straight flick to apps, but instead he flicked to his teammate in pit. Taking a moment there just to think. Time up being utilised just to try and slow down the advances, really. Team One, and that pause benefits both teams, really. For Mythic, in terms of just trying to churn out these rounds, for Team One for stabilising themselves. Just 2 rounds, of course, what they desperately need. I think I could comfortably say desperate at this point. It's been so close for so long. Less than pretty start, but at least there's a trade from Maluk. Oh, don't re-peek. I can see it on the map. I swapped over in just the nick of time. It looks like the comm is playing off of the smoke. Tucks into the corner, waits for the push. Spots one, gets a second now. Dren is 18 HP. This is an easy third, and the comm going huge in round 23. All 3 kills are lined up. Bomb secured. With a minute to work with, Hayes now has to somehow try and worm his way out of this one. It's not going to happen. Team One, series point. I thought Mythic had it. Maybe we got a little too far ahead of ourselves. We generally thought Mythic. One in the bag. With 6 rounds back to back did absolute wonders for them. TeamOne looking to push this one over the line right here. Dren at least starting strong. Does get the early opener, but walks away with Poland on 2 HP. They wait. Ever so patiently, the comm just looking to see if anyone's even going to creep on over. His head potentially slightly exposed. Is the case, but Maluk just going to hold the angle now with the AWP. Secures not only one, but a chance at a second. He just no-scopes him in the back of the chest. TRK takes down Hayes, and his anger and Flom to fight this one back. A minute to work with, by all means, they got time, and they got the weaponry. But they got to contest with Maluk right now, who's hitting every single shot he lands. CH also just trying to put this one down nice and quick. Flom missing a couple of shots, but eventually it is going to be that one-on-one. We said Maluk wasn't missing. Time to put that to the test. Comes in through library. Smoke buys him the element of surprise. Gets himself tucked in towards Cubby. Starts to clear out the site. He's looking for a bit of information right now. He's no idea how Flom is looking to play this round. Now, Maluk does have a kit, so there is no element of rush here required. He just needs to realise that his teammate Will have been able to give him the position of short. And once he realises that still is the case, then he just tries to hold on. He's actually just going to try and clutch out for the defuse. He's got balls of steel. I understand why. Very little time left. Was thinking, you know what? Instead of just charging short, going for this gung-ho kill, I'm going to just go in. Sticks to the fuse, gets down to just a second. Thankfully, the kill is found. Keeps Mythic alive for just another day. Round 25, of course. TeamOne opting not to spend into this one, actually. Just going to sit back, relax on the pistols. And maybe use this once more as a chance. Just to talk things out, get themselves together, composed around 26. Even it pretty clean as well. I mean, Adrenaline 6 HP, even he gets away alive. More than anyone on TeamOne can say. See 5 chances now for TeamOne. We do head into overtime. Very much for the same thing, that 3-2 setup. Going to see a little bit more presence towards Banana. Additionally expected. McCom, though, in fairness, has enjoyed sort of playing the solo sandbags position, so it's not a complete curveball. A little bit less support from IDK than standard. Wouldn't have been able to spot that player behind tree. That's unfortunate for him. And you're apparently just going to open up for a lovely double towards Apps. I mean, we're not quite sure how it comes about, but we'll take it. Basically is theirs. Poland takes, I think, single-handedly annihilating every single player on TeamOne. I'm not going to beat around the bush, try and describe every scenario. The reality of it is that Mythic have waltzed on towards A, found kills in Banana meanwhile. Basically locked TeamOne out of the sight. I mean, there's no need to retake this. Just back away, save the rifle and the EWP. Try again around 27, because you failed this time. Just the entries from Anger towards Apps. We saw Poland as well just take down that rotated towards Banana, I believe. Not pretty at all. $15-11 now. If you have just joined us, it's 15-11. Mythic had a devastating first half scoreline, 13-2. Now we're at 15-11. Says a lot about how this map has gone, but also I think it's a cute description of this best of 3, really. Both teams refusing ever to bow out for the count. Mythic also have had a habit of fighting it to OT in this series. You saw it in the second map as well. Though they did ultimately fall short to TeamOne. The same result comes true here. We'll be seeing TeamOne progress further forward. Welcome, nice early pick, but it instantly traded back by Flom. Just flicks up with the AWP. Dedicating 3 players towards the bottom of Banana gives them a little bit more flexibility in terms of trading frags like that. Of course, they have the AWP there, but they also have those 2 rifles. One of which will get very aggressive very early on, that being Poland. Ideally hoping that TRK will just peek off the corner and that can be a simple one-and-done headshot. An advantage furthered for Mythic, ultimately. TeamOne actually opted to kind of gamble, rotate a lot of people over on towards this B site here. Maybe we'll be using it just for the boost, but it's definitely ballsy just to leave that one player focused on A for now. TeamOne story, but still. Flash going to leave him blind. Push will come in. If he can find that low HP player or potentially Flom, you never know what could happen. Fortunately, none of those things will happen, though. Instead, he just hits the deck. The rest of his team just chilling over on B. We got ourselves Mythic's 12th round. Interesting is that we went live about half an hour before the game started. So effectively, we've been this whole best of 3 has taken just shy of 4 hours. It's been an exceptionally long match as a Counter-Strike, really just battling out right to the very end. A couple of kills will be exchanged on either side, but the reality of it is, kills are nothing. The rounds are everything. $15 to 12 at a pause is called. I like it, I do. Naturally, the pause going to benefit both teams here, but I think for Team 1, they do just need a moment. Just to sort of gather their thoughts, if anything. Unpause comes in. Those 30 seconds. Let's see what they actually produce. I'm definitely hopeful that we're going to see a bit of a work of art here, but I don't know, man. Let's not get too deep into the tactical stuff. For a second, I thought maybe there's a couple of tactical elements we can go into, but I think the reality of it is we just want to keep a close eye on exactly what TeamOne do in the present instead of focusing on maybe what they can do and apply from the past. Maybe we'll talk about that from the, you know, once the match concludes, if it concludes. I mean, we could be going to OT yet, so who knows. Obviously, for now, though, it is just going to be much more of the same from Team 1, except the only difference for me that's immediate is that this AWP is playing the cross on towards B. It doesn't take a shot, so it doesn't reveal what's happening. Instead, plays nice and close. Secures the first frag. Adren now, dangerously aware of the fact there was an AWP lurking in the shadows, decides to drop the molly and then peek around the corner. Meanwhile, TRK takes advantage of the fact that Hayes has his back turned. So far, so good. Now, Adren will trade. Oh, a second shot. That's quick. Anger taking down Turk as well. How does this happen? Round back on its head, and once again, Mythic might actually be able to push this one over the line. Maluk will take down Anger, so it does make it a 2 for 2. But Mythic have a bomb site, which means it will ultimately be a retake for Team 1. I thought maybe it was done. Maybe this was the one that Team 1 can actually make happen. Everything was going their way, but Mythic still able to force on a site and get a plant. The retake from there, it's just crumbling. It's all on Maluk. Gonna throw the smoke in towards construction. Likely Molly and Flash to follow up as well. Getting nice and aggressive. Spots out Adren and almost just takes the bait. Chasing him down, even with a kit, he's got no time. 13 rounds for Mythic. They keep it going, keep it turning. Team 1 just so close, but so far from closing this one out. And the worst part is that they can't afford to do anything in this round. Best thing for them to do is to potentially half-buy on some of these players. And then maybe push forward to the end. Play that final round. They decide to just go for it with the SMGs, in fact. Double up set up, 3 UMPs. Not even wanting to think about playing round number 30 out. They just want to get it done right here, right now. But the track record says they're going to struggle with that idea. Thing is, this double up is also no longer a surprise. Considering the context of their economy, maybe Mythic won't expect it, but you know, ultimately I think the worry more should be whether these UMPs are going to be able to do enough. Starting to see the push begin to set itself up. Now they know it's a UMP. Flash is good. The com's going to run out of ammo here for a multi-kill. He just doesn't have it in the chamber. Only 13 bullets. Wouldn't have been enough to do much there. IDK just hit the sickest collateral I've ever seen in my life. That is... I mean, a best of 3 winning collateral? only we caught it from his point of view. That's all there really is to say. Keeping a close eye on Flom. Just waits for the angle. IDK slips out once more, lands the shot, and another. All 4 kills. 3 bullets. All he needs. As much as this is a hype ending, the CS music's kind of killing me here. This is just super chill. Bit of Lenny Moore. This is IDK's actual MVP playlist. So this is what's going through his mind when he's hitting those sick lateral shots. I mean, what was that game, though? I mean, all jokes aside, it definitely was something. It was an absolute slog, but it was also pretty damn intense. Ultimately, not too sure what to think of it, really. I think that I would have liked to have seen Mythic take the W, but at the same time, TeamOne worked bloody hard for that. Sort of depends on which way you look at it, really. Ultimately, folks, we have got ourselves a second best of 3. I'm going to go get myself some coffee. We're rocking over to 4 AM. It's been a long day so far. 4 hours of streaming for 1 best of 3 complete. There's a second coming right up. I'm going to go fuel myself some coffee. You guys get yourself ready also. If you are joining us on Night Shift Run, more power to you. If you're in America right now, hope you have a great day. We'll see you in just a few moments' time. Do not go anywhere. You'll be joining us for our next best of 3, Sword Patrol versus Blackout.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.